Hello friends, welcome again to my YouTube channel where I share some great ideas and methods. Anyway, the video I posted before was introductory to hydroponics using the Cracky method, and I hope those of you that watched that have been watching some of Roger Van Duzy videos on Keep On Growing. He's the master behind all the different things. Anyway, so today I want to show you how I start the seeds. I'm kind of deviated a little bit from what he did there, from my experience. And yeah, there's a number of people in the area that are interested, and so this is kind of a way to spread the word here in the local area here, as well as all over the world, I guess. This goes in here. But anyway, I'm no expert. I'm just trying it and changing things a little bit, maybe, and coming up with some other things there. So anyway, welcome all to all my wood turner things. I've included a couple wood turnings here that some of you might be interested in. Here's a nice little burl vase. Yeah, I've done some off-center turning, a really complicated friend over there. He says, yeah, that's pretty fantastic, but man, I like these things way better. That was just a simple turning there. And of course, springtime here in the north, so the birds are out there chirping, and I hear the dog out there too. Anyway, and yeah, so here we have late spring, I guess, especially this year. It's frost this morning. So I want to, the daffodils are out here. A lot of places, of course, if you've had daffodils, they've been dead and gone several months ago. But here in the north, we save the best till later, and we get a real nice showing. Anyway, so today I want to start the seeds, and yeah, things have been really growing here. We've had a number of good meals here. I'm surprised to see this here, this romaine lettuce that I started a while ago, and it's getting huge. I got quite a few of them here, and so guess what we're going to have for supper today? Some good salad, good green fresh salad, no pesticides, no nothing, just eat it right off the plant. Swiss chard growing like crazy. We've had some meals off of that, and it's up there, so I think today we'll have to do some of that too. Anyway, yeah, but to start this, you have to start with seeds. And this morning I watched one of Mike Van Duzy's videos, and got a few extra tips from him. Sometimes, you know, you think you got it all figured out. Go back and watch the master, and oh, here, I should do this or I should do that. Anyway, of course he talked about it, and you use this is some sort of takeout container that I had with a lid on it, and you take that lid off and then you turn it upside down. So in this area here, we're going to be planting put our soil or whatever and your seeds, and then there's going to be water reservoir in the back. And what he mentioned this morning was you can have multiple containers, but another thing, and I've already done this, is microgreens. So you could grow your little seedlings that you're going to use in hydroponics, and you'll have it planted quite thick, and you just eat the rest of them as microgreens, or you can, so that's a double feature: microgreens and plants in the end. Now I've grown microgreens in one of these things. This is 10 by 20 or something like that. It's very shallow. You got two parts to this thing. The bottom, it's just there's no holes in it, and then the top part has holes in it, and you have your growing medium in here. There's different things that could be used in there, And but there's no water reservoir under here, and I've done it, and it's dried out before I know it. Oh, it's dry. Oh, you got to add water. You got to add water every day. So with this method here, this container is fairly shallow, but you add your water in here, and then you probably won't have to add water for 4 or 5 days, or even more if you have a bigger container underneath. And so I'm going to show you today how to do that. You got to modify that top a little bit, and you may have already know that if you watch some of his videos, but I'm going to change it a little different. Anyway, yeah, okay, before I get started, I'll just mention it right now. I'll mention it later too. The first one, I followed his example, and then it was all soil, and he's still doing all soil. I'm going to branch off just a little bit different. And then when I pull the plants out, the plant's root goes down in and around the paper towel that he puts in there, and into that, and if you pull the plant out, you rip the roots off. And to get a good healthy plant to start with, you need a good root, and I didn't want to destroy that, so I'm changing a little bit, and you'll see how I do that in a second here. I got to take care of this dog. Okay, well, took care of that dog. Anyway, yeah, the way I did it at the first is we're going to use a paper towel as a wick, and you put wide slots in each end. If you watch his video, and you're welcome to do that. And then you put your paper towel in, and it covers the whole bottom, and then what I found is the plants start to grow, the roots go down and into the paper towel, and then you pull it out, you're kind of wrecking the roots. And to get a good healthy plant, you need a good root structure. So I got the thing, and then did that the first time with just straight soil as he done. And then the next time I thought, well, and then I'd pull those out and I'd get all kinds of dirt, and then I'd wash that off under the sink, in the sink tap there. And you still ended up with a bunch of black stuff in there, but that's okay too. I mean, I had fantastic plants. It might be an advantage to do it that way, I don't know. Anyway, the next time I did it, I put, instead of sand all the way, instead of soil, complete soil, I put the first layer of sand, and then when the plants grew, it grew down into the sand, and then still into the paper towel. And I still had the trouble with roots in the paper towel, but the sand just shook off, or you just washed it off just lightly under the tap, and you had clean roots. So I got to thinking of that. Well, how can I solve that problem of the paper towel? Because you're using a paper towel as a wick. So what I've done on this one, and I tested it out to see whether it worked, and it works fantastic, is, if you can see it there, in this area here, I just made a small slot, and on this side in the center I made a small slot there too. And so we're not going to cover the whole bottom. That way, when the roots of the plant, after it goes down, it'll just go on the plastic there, and it won't get in the paper towel. So anyway, I used, what did I use to cut those slots here? You can use a knife, or probably a kitchen knife. I used this little X-Acto knife there. So anyway, that's one way to do it. You can do it other ways too. So instead of making this real wide, I just took one piece, I folded it over, and then I'm going to take this and stick it through the hole, where that small hole there. Pull it down several inches, and then just go to the other side and stick it through the hole. Now I want that to be tight. I want this to be tight, so my paper towel is just a little tighter. Okay, and we've got it down like that. Okay, Now we're just going to take this and I'll just push it down like that, okay? That's all there is to it. That's the modification. Now I've got quite a bit of area in here that I can plant seeds, and in here plant seeds. Not plant them in the middle, and it'll work. So then that goes into here, okay? Now the next thing will be to add water, and I want to show you something, hopefully show you something. So I've got the water here. Okay, we're going to take that off, and I'm going to pour water into here. Okay. And like I said, I tried this to see what would happen. Now, with this wick at the bottom here, and a capillary action, it's going to go up and make this wet. So if I could do this in a way where you could actually see it, would be great. I don't know if I could do that without spilling it. Okay, I'll just do it, and that's the way it'll go. Okay, and you'll see this if you do this. Do it this way. Put that in there, and in no time, it's starting right now. The ends are wet, and it's working right across the center. Just keeps going. And now the whole thing is soaking wet. That didn't take very long, okay? Now, then I'm going to add sand to that, and I just picked up some sand here that's come off the beach from somewhere. Anyway, I had it for sandblasting, because I do a lot of and I'm going to put sand in here, okay? Now, I don't know if you can see that or not, but that spills when I do it, is the sand is soaking wet, and this side here is entirely, now the whole thing is soaking wet. The sand is wet. I can see it wet. Okay? Now I'm going to throw a little bit more in there. This is one of the things you can try at home. A lot of times they have that advertisement. Don't try this at home, but test it out. Okay, and you'll see that how the capillary action comes right over the up the paper towel. Even though it's just a narrow band in the center, you don't need the whole thing covered. And then you can try sand or soil. Soil would take quite a bit longer to... Okay, so that's all we have to it. Okay, it's soaking wet. Okay. So now all we have to do is put some seeds. Now, I'm just experimenting with different seeds. So in this case, I've got some arugula, is it? So on one side I'm going to plant this because I want to see how it'll grow. So I'm just going to sprinkle some seeds. If you're doing microgreens like Mike does, plant some real thick, but I don't need hundreds of plants, and I don't know if don't need a lot of microgreens. So that's that one, okay. And I've never grown that. And this one here I decided to try. This one here is, again, romaine lettuce, but it says baby romaine. It's something that talks about grow beds and containers and window boxes. And I thought maybe that these that I have here, the big romaine, regular romaine, it's growing up fantastic, but maybe the baby romaine would be smaller and grow up really quick. So I want to try some of that. Those are light colored seeds, so it's easy to see. Yeah, okay. And of course you got a division there, so you got one on one side, one on the other. Doesn't take a lot of seeds, because you're only going to be planting maybe 6, 8 of the little plants. So you'll have to eat the rest as Mike was doing. That's what Mike does. And then I'm just going to try, and that's what I did last time, put the sand in there, but I had a full wick across the bottom. And then I'm going to cover it with soil. And he used seed starting, because he said it's got a little bit of nutrition in it, but not enough to burn the plants. It's designed specifically for seed starting. You just need moisture, basically, to start seeds, and you don't want to get too thick. So I'm just going to put, this is all dried out because I had it last year. You get some stuff that'll be a lot newer. And just cover your seeds up. It won't take a whole lot. One bag of this, if you're doing hydroponics, would last for a long time. And we'll just smooth that out a little bit. Okay. And like he said, if you get clumps, just pick them out and yeah, there. Okay. And then what he said, and I think I probably did this before, take some sort of sprayer and give her a shot of spray here. I got this one that pumps. So, and then once it's set up and pumped up, you can just spray it thing there. Okay. And then that's all there is to it. Well, not quite all the way to it. Then you should cover it. You have to cover it because seeds to start, they like darkness. And if you had another one of these containers, I have one, but I'm not sure where it is. I can't even remember where I found this one. And then you just put it upside down on there. But before you do it, you just spray it a little bit. If you don't have that, he said, well, take some paper towel, not paper towel, pardon me, tin foil. Okay, we'll take a little bit of tin foil, and that can go over there, and just give it a light spraying as well, and that will hold the humidity in. Okay, so then just put it over there loosely, not tight, and I'm just going to push the edges down a bit. Okay. And a few days, and check it, make sure you got water in the bottom, and before long they'll start breaking ground. That's when you take the top off. So we want a little bit of humidity there, and you need to put it somewhere in the house where it's relatively warm. He even mentioned 78 degrees. Of course, he lives in Florida. Seeds would just pop out of the ground there. You'd have to put a weight on them to stop them from coming out. But he mentioned, and I thought of this too when he was talking about it, is put it on top of the refrigerator. Refrigerators, because they take cold out of the inside of the refrigerator and then they transfer it to the outside of the refrigerator, so it stays nice and warm. So that's what I'm going to do with that. Anyway, that's all there is to it. It's so simple. You could almost do it blindfolded. Well, not really. Anyway, the next video I'll talk about the different containers and how to make those, things like that, and especially this downspout here that Mike uses a lot, and he started out with that, so that's a good place to start. Anyway, I've got a little different method to fold up the ends, which might be a little more user-friendly to you, because he's done hundreds of them, and it works so easy for him. Anyway, you'll stumble around a little bit doing that, but it's worth doing. Anyway, thanks for watching, and yeah, you don't want to, and subscribe. You might, so you'll get the next episodes there. Anyway, we'll see you next time.